Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raid. So yeah, today not only do we have the new fusion reveal and all that stuff coming at the same time, I don't know why Ray decided to have the embargoes all dropping at the once. Doesn't make sense, but there we are. Make sure you check that out as well. We also have news on the summon event coming up this weekend, and yeah, also on a change from what they initially said. You guys might have noticed this in the game. But a small update here regarding Relic Visibility, a new feature that was due to come in the release. It was actually yesterday that they shared this, but so I didn't get around to making a video on it yesterday. Earlier, we announced it would be possible to see specifically which relics are equipped on enemy champions in the pre-battle windows for Siege and Arena, as well as in the info window during battles. However, contrary to that information, the specific functionality is not included in the update. What to expect instead. So during battle, a relic's name will still appear whenever its ability is activated, and in the pre-battle windows, a relic icon will be shown on champions' avatars that indicates that a champion has a relic equipped, but it will not display the specific name of the relic. We can even see this now. Like if I click in here, they've got relics on. Wow, you huge information right there. So yeah, this is an interesting one. There was like so much feedback. The content creator chat was going crazy. People had very strong feelings about not showing relics before the battle started. For me personally, I don't actually have particularly strong feelings either way. The thing that does strike me about this, and I think is completely illogical, is I saw a lot of people saying, why show the relics are like gear sets. We don't see gear sets before battle, so you shouldn't see relics. It just doesn't, it's not a complete logic, because the obvious response would be, actually relics are probably more like blessings, and you do see blessings before the battle. So yeah, I think relics being like gear sets, sure they are, but it's not really the whole story. And actually what I think would probably be the better way to do, I mean, it raised the question, and like you can really apply every single argument people were putting about not showing relics. They're like, well, a bunch of relics are better as a surprise. It has too much impact on what you're doing. It gives the attacker too much advantage, too much information about your champions. Yeah, like you want to be able to surprise people with the relic in the battle, and that's how that they're actually designed to work. I think you can apply every single one of those arguments to blessings as well. Like for example, here I might be expecting an Incinerate on Gizmak, but now I know actually no, it's a Crushing Roots Gizmak, or yeah, all sorts of various different things. You know, I might have a bunch of Temporal Chains on my characters, or a bunch of Lightning Cages on my characters. You know, what if I've got stacked a bunch of Life Harvest on my characters, right? There's a load of stuff that these blessings are giving away that totally changes the battle. I very often change my picks or my bans in response to the blessings that I see the enemies have. I get a lot of info about how they're going to build based off what they have, and so on. So yeah, I just don't think there's any logic to a lot of what the comments were saying. Or well, I think there was a logic, but I think it wasn't fully applied. My take on it is, I think if the logic is that you want to hide relics before the battle, and you want to hide gear sets before the battle as well, you should really be hiding blessings too. It does not make any sense to apply one logic to gear sets and to relics, and not to apply it to blessings. I mean, sure, maybe give away the star level, but do you even give away the star level? That's a lot of useful information. Whether or not someone is 6-star or not, it's going to make it, like, if this Arbiter is 6-star versus not 6-star, it's going to make a huge difference to what I decide to do in live arena. So maybe you shouldn't even see that star thing. Something that's worth considering, folks. Something that's worth considering. So yeah, I would say actually the most logical thing is for PvP to, I'd be saying probably show the star level, but I don't think you should be showing the blessing either if you're not showing the relics or the gear sets. And then on the flip side, because there is a flip side to this, let's see. Yeah, I think this should be perfect in Hydra. Oh, and for dungeon runs, etc., or if I'm just looking anywhere really, I can see their awakening level. I can see their stars. I can see their blessing. On this screen, I can see their gear sets, in fact, as well, but I can't see their relics. Really what we should have for PvE and for looking at what people have run. Like, for example, if I come in here and I don't know, like I go into the event dungeon, that'll be fine. And I go in here. If I look at the teams of the week, I can see their gear, but I can't see their blessing or their relics. You know, there's just no logic here either. For PvE content like this, you should see it all. You should see the blessing, the gear sets, the relics. Certainly, I think you could also see like the actual relic level, the gem slots, or even perhaps see a full stat breakdown. Even see, like we have on the optimizer, Hell Hades optimizer, even see the AI presets. I think they could show way more info. So anyway, that's my rant about that. I think for PvP, I think be consistent and don't display anything. I think for PvE, be informative and display everything. My thoughts? I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. But yeah, in my opinion, people are getting very angry and not really being logical whatsoever. I think what's happened, if I'm being kind of mean about it, I think what's basically happened is that people are not applying the logic at all, and they're just accepting the blessings are shown because they always have been, but they're not really thinking about it, is, to be honest, how I feel. So sorry to offend you, but there we go. All right, now that I've made you cry and hurt your feelings, let's dive in to the summon event coming this weekend. So we actually, what we don't know, let me see if it's on the event, in the event section on PLARIUM Play yet. It is not. Oh, it is. Yes, a Summon Rush event with 200 Eagle points. Okay, so there's 200 Eagle points. It starts tomorrow. Summon Rush event actually probably will be showing up in game at this point. Yes, it is. There we go. Summon Rush in game. 200 Eagle points. Other nice stuff in there, as there always is with the Summon Rush. This is the 15x event that's going with it. So it'll be up for 72 hours as well. So for the whole weekend, basically. We have Edward Kenway, Osgren the Defiler, Aestra Dreamsong, Maragain, and Lady Kimmy from your Ancient, Primals, and Sacreds. And then from the Voids, Incensa, Shuzan, and Warlord. I mean, the big question is, do we expect to see a guaranteed event for Edward or not? My take on Edward, frankly, is I'd love to pick him up in a guaranteed event, but he's not worth, to me, chasing in a progressive. Like, it's not a particular knock against Edward, to be fair. I just don't think chasing stuff in a progressive really makes that much sense in general. Like, yeah, when you happen to be super close to Mercy, you know, it does make sense. More important for Void charts, to be honest, but yeah, it's a 15x event. Another word for a fixed 15x event is a shit event, frankly. So I'm not too pushed about chasing him. That being said, because he is a limited edition champion, I think he does have good value, and I think he's a decent champ. Like I said, I quite liked him as like a fast, damaging utility build. I think a pro and a con, more so a con, but something that's worth considering. He is significantly better. He is incredibly good with the Lens of Intangibility, which gives him perfect veil to start the round, so he can open up with his A2 and have it be irresistible. It gives him main stat speed, which is what he wants, and it gives him loads of damage as well, and he can provide himself with perfect veil to keep this buff up. So it's a pro that he scales insanely well off this relic. Why is it a con? Well, the con is it's a mythical relic that's incredibly hard to get, and it's also absolutely busted on most champions in the game. It's like it's best in slot for half the damage dealers, although you do need some way to give most of them perfect veil. At least he has it for himself. But yeah, I'd say it's more of a con than a pro. It's like, yeah, he's insane with Lens of Intangibility, but then again, so is everyone else, and you might have better characters to give that to over him, which is a pity, but he would do very well with it. He does very well with any main stat speed damage relic, I think. Just to cycle his turns, actually get damage out of him, but to focus on the utility and cycling and all of that. He's pretty good against Mercurial as well, because he's got a double hit AoE. Pretty decent to potentially steal Stone Skin off enemies, and potentially to knock off some total guard stacks. So not bad by any means. And certainly when you get past the initial 3 total guard stacks, he can hit them with, let's say they take a turn, they regenerate 1 total guard. If he then does another A2, he can hit them. Then his next hit should, I think, push their turn meter back and ensnare them probably, and then give you a good shot to actually finish them off before they get back to total guard. So he is very good against Mercurial. Osgren is also excellent as well. I'd say he's a bit better, to be honest. Osgren is very, very good. A lot of people talking about him in the same sort of discussions as like Fabian or Armans, that sort of thing. So he comes in, full buff removal, turn meter pushback, and he can stun enemies if he reduces their turn meter to 50%. So if they've got high turn meter, he'll push it from anywhere above 50 down to 50%, and he will stun them, which is very, very strong. And he can activate this for free as well whenever an ally is killed, which is amazing. And he also has a really strong ally attack. It's a 4-turn, full team ally attack with increased attack and shatter. It's the small version of shatter, but it is still a nice little damage boost. So it's very, very good. He's got a great arena aura. His A1 can increase his skill and give a bit of a turn meter boost to allies, which is nice because he joins up on this. So this effectively is a tiny little turn meter boost as well. He's nice. I think he's a very solid champion. Very good overall. I don't think he's as good as probably as Fabian, but that being said, I mean, ally attack is one of the best ways to deal with Mercurial again. Whereas let's say Armans is really not going to do well against Mercurial. Really not going to do well against Total Guard at all. He can do the one AoE hit with his A2, but that's about it. Ally attack, you can really smash through someone with Total Guard, and that can be pretty effective. And then once the Total Guard is down, you could start controlling them perhaps. So he's got some potential there. I think he's very solid. For a regular legendary, he's pretty good. Aestrid is very good as well. I'd say she's probably more useful to more people than Edward, to be honest. A lot of people love Aestrid. She's very solid for arena as well. She's got a great arena aura, but she's got an increased turn meter with increased speed and increased attack, and then an AoE decreased speed and weaken with turn meter pushback. Now, unfortunately, Marius exists, and turn meter pushback makes her a massive liability against Marius. But I said that in a video, and everyone went crazy at me. So yeah, I don't know. Aestra's getting fucked by Marius, but that's what you want. You want is, I don't know, Rule 34 or something. See this lovely Easter lady fucked by a horse. Great. Yeah, she's a sleep chance on her A1. It can be 100% if they're under decreased speed or weaken. But you're getting increased speed, decreased speed, and you're also getting increased attack for your team, and turn meter boost and the AoE weaken in particular does a little bit of healing, but it's kind of minimal. And she's got really good base speed as well. Very nice for a lot of boss fights, right? Increased speed, decreased speed. Great for Hydra. She's a very, very solid champion. Again, I think she's one of the better champions from non-void shards. Morrigan, I'd say, is not quite as good as Aestrid, to be honest, but she has seen a resurgence for... She's particularly good for Amius in Cursed City, and for actually very good for Leshun in Grim Forest, and obviously for Isheth in Grim Forest, and for the Mimic boss as well. Why is that? She's one of the most consistent heal reduction champions in the game. At the start of each turn, heal reduction for 2 turns on the lowest HP enemy, and crucially, the debuff cannot be removed, transferred, spread, have its duration increased or decreased. So she will put it out. She needs accuracy to do it. But, I mean, you build her with enough accuracy, even if you get 3%ed, she's doing this every turn. She's really fast, and it goes for 2 turns. So unless they're going to resist it 2 turns in a row, extremely unlikely, it's effectively just up the entire time. You don't have to worry about it. It's really nice. Then on top of that, she has increased speed with a turn meter boost, and also turn meter decrease. So again, Marius will just murder your team. That's okay, though. That's what we want, right? And she can also steal buffs from an enemy and do AoE True Fear, which is cool. It isn't AoE True Fear. It's a decreased accuracy for bosses, though, which is lovely. So you get the 2 different options. A little bit of a pity that she can't True Fear the Ram form in Chimera, but it is what it is. And she's got a decreased speed A1. So yeah, again, you're getting increased speed and turn meter boosting. You're getting decreased speed, but only for single target bosses. And you're getting a buff steal from a single enemy, but AoE True Fear or decreased accuracy for bosses. 19% speed in all battles. Aura is good. The heal reduction, I think, is the big selling point. So yeah, if you are struggling with Amius or with Grim Forest, like the Mimic or whatever, she's very, very good for that. This is like the big thing. She is a champion you see used sometimes. Same as Aestrid. You sometimes do see them crop up in arena, particularly if you've got a 6-star soul, if you've got Faction Guardians completed for these champions. They can be very viable to run as your fastest champion in arena because they're not top tier, right? People are very unlikely to ban a Morrigan in live arena. Or they're quite likely to underestimate her in Siege or something like that. So you put her really, really, really fast. You can surprise people and secure a win by, yeah, having her faster than people expect, because she's not the best, but she still is very good. Lady Kimmy, I think, is somewhat similar. I actually am going to put Kimmy as one of the lower value ones here, to be honest, I'm afraid. So Kimmy, to me, has lost some value. So she, again, is increased speed with increased accuracy, turn meter boost. She can remove a buff from enemies and put block buffs, which is cool. She's an AoE, decrease accuracy, decrease speed, and can decrease turn meter. She can also decrease turn meter on her A1. She can decrease turn meter whenever she puts a debuff on an enemy, which is cool. She can also boost your turn meter for every debuff received, which is quite nice. Got speed. This is a bit of a bummer. Speed in Doom Tower battles. I like that we have these niche auras, but you know, it's not particularly useful, unfortunately. But again, very, very, very high base speed. She can be quite good with like bomb champions, right? As an increased accuracy source. So slap her in with like an Arbiter for increased attack. Kimmy brings you more turn meter, increased accuracy, and increased speed. Can let your bombers come in and bomb enemies. Pretty cool. But yeah, she's not phenomenal in arena. It can be awkward to fit your speed aura in, like certainly in, let's say, live arena. Like if I go in with like Aestrid and Arbiter, with a bit of a weird one, but if I did, at least I got the 2 speed auras, whereas Kimmy wouldn't, and you'd be at risk of being outsped. Yeah, like decrease accuracy. She's not bad. She's good. I think she's not quite as good as the others. I think Aestrid is probably a bit more generally useful, to be honest. So yeah, that's sort of how I think about that one. And bearing in mind, everyone got Ezio. Ezio is going to combine very, very well with Aestrid. And very well with Edward, in fact, but he's not going to really go well with Kimmy. He doesn't really need accuracy, and he prefer the increased attack from these guys than that. So I'd be putting Edward. I'd actually put Edward probably equal. So this is the FOMO. In fact, let me put that. Like Edward, I think is only probably that good. Like he's somewhat similar to Kimmy, I think. And then I give him the FOMO. I'd actually put him equal to Osgren, which is the FOMO value. He's a limited time champion. You can never get him again after this. So, in fact, yeah, you might even put him number 1 just to get him. Or then again, you know, I'm going to put him equal to Osgren. I'm going to say it's fairly equal of being like, yeah, you could go for him just to get him. Or, well, to try to get him. But he's not a must-have. Not a must-have champion, but it's nice. It could mean you could skip a guaranteed if they even do a guaranteed. I would expect a guaranteed, but you never know. And the more that we are expecting PLARIUM to do certain things, I think the more likely they are to break that mold. I think they don't want to be predictable. Yeah, I think they don't want to be predictable. They want to keep people guessing and keep the surprise and the gamble going and all of that. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, then the Voids, Insensa, Shuzan, and Warlord. Ooh, pretty spicy. Shuzan is the best one. She obviously, funny enough, it's kind of funny they're putting her in when the new fusion is supposed to sort of counter her and her partner, sort of anti-Shuzan, as it were. But look, Shuzan, great arena aura, turn meter boost, increase speed, turn meter pushback, decrease speed. More importantly, you typically open with this move, though. You give an instant turn to an ally, increase attack, crit rate, crit damage. This is also incredibly strong for PvE content, for like speed farming event dungeons and stuff like that. She is the champion. Loads of buffs, boost someone up with 0 speed and crazy stats, typically a Wukong or a Siegfried, because splash damage is broken, and let them just one-shot the event dungeon, that sort of thing. Kind of nuts. The block active skills A1 is really good as well. She gets loads of accuracy for free. And yeah, this move is really good too. She's just a really solid kit. The only real downside with her is 110 base speed compared to 115. It's not a major downside, but it just means that, you know, it's difficult to have her be the absolute fastest champion in the game, but, you know, not that difficult. she's kind of nuts. So she would be the top pick here. Insensa is very good. I think Insensa is pretty underrated, actually. She comes in. She is one of the decreased defense and weaken AoE champions. It does ignore block debuffs, which is somewhat useful. You don't really see her much in arena, to be honest. This is quite fun. She's the only champion that can do Poison Cloud, but Poison Cloud increase speed, two continuous heal buffs on a target ally for 2 turns with 50% turn meter boost. And then she's got an ally attack A1, which is big. AoE attack with decreased defense, but more importantly, brings in the highest crit damage ally to join the attack. which is cool. I think she needs some manual play to make the most out of her, which for me is a negative, right? You want to place decreased defense and weaken if the boss doesn't have it, but otherwise you want to spam her A1 to get more ally attacks. So it's a little bit awkward. This is potentially worth using, certainly if you've got protect. Why is her staff is like bugging out in the background? It was like teleporting up. Am I gone crazy? No, it's bouncing. Whoa! Oh my god. Okay, the staff has gone bizarre. Yeah, like this can be really good with 9-piece protection because she's doing 4 buffs. It's effectively a 20% damage boost. That's really cool. Again, it's a little bit difficult to use. This would clearly be pretty good in arena. Like nobody's running the anti-poison cloud blessing because it's shit. But yeah, so it is kind of unique. You can just remove it, of course. It can just be removed, but still, it's interesting. And this is cool too, where when enemies receive a buff, she does push enemy turn meter back. So yet again, we're all the champions that Marius counters. But again, you guys think that is absolutely fantastic because, to be fair, Insensa is too strong in arena. Who wants to see her in there? Screw having champion variety. She also gets accuracy for each buff and each enemy. Not that important. It will help her land decreased defense and weaken, but it doesn't affect this. You don't really care too much about decreased attack. Yeah, she's a funny one. I think she's pretty underrated. She is good for like clan bosses and just bosses in general, but does need manual play to min-max, which is a downside. So I'm gonna mark it against her. This is the nub mark against. That's the anti-manual play mark, which I'm putting it as a separate mark just to note that for you, it might not be a negative at all. For me, it's a negative. For you, it might not be. And then Warlord is pretty cool. Warlord will definitely see some more love with Mercurial, actually, because he is increasing enemy skills and he can fully deplete turn meter. Obviously, the turn meter depletion won't go through Total Guard, but putting skills on cooldown does go through Total Guard, which is cool. And then he's got this heal. I actually think this is a bit underpowered. He actually needs a buff for this, like 1 turn of block debuffs. Just not right for a Void Legendary. It should be 2 turns minimum. Other than that, it's a pretty good move. His A1 can increase debuffs on the target. It's a bit shit. He's really all about the A3. This is kind of useful, but he's mostly about this A3. I mean, it is good. It's fine. I think he's not as good as Fabian or Yumiko or any of those, but he is nice. So yeah, he's certainly a cool Void Legendary. If you got him, he could be a useful addition to your arsenal. For sure, for doing Siege and Tag and Light Arena as well. You do see him cropping up from time to time. Obviously, while he is very good against Mercurial, this is not particularly good against Mythicals, who are half the time metamorphing anyway, so they don't really care about having their skills put on cooldown. But he is interesting. I'll give him that. But yeah, I think Fabian is just, well, Crixia is incredible, and she's got her other form for resetting skills. Fabian is the best pure skill increasing champion because he's also got like crazy crowd control here, and he can cycle back to this move, and this is also crazy good. So he's so good. Crixia's got more versatility. Yumiko is an interesting option, I think, for PvP because she also resets your skill cooldown. So I think with the Chronophage gear set, it actually becomes quite an interesting option to be an anti-lockout champion who's also locking you out at the same time. Sort of doing what Crixia is doing, but just in the one move. But she's pretty cool. But yeah, I think Warlord is the weakest of them, but I still think he is good. He's probably not quite that good. I do think Insensa is probably a bit better, but I think they're pretty close to each other. I guess I've underrated the Voids again relative to the non-Voids. Yeah, so like Shu Zhen is a clear number 1. I'd say she's clearly massively better than all these others. I probably would be putting Insensa number 2, but I do think Warlord is actually viable. I do think he's actually a viable champion to pull for in this event. Then from these, I would say I'm going to give a joint first place to Osgren and to Edward. And I would personally be saying, probably be an event for him. I'm going to put Aestrid number 2. I'm going to put Margay number 3. Would you pull for Lady Kimmy in 2026? You know what? Probably not. I'd say probably not. Like, it's unlikely she's going to be that useful. Be honest. Like, she's not bad. Now, I will put her in as a number 4. I'll say she just about does scrape in to being like, yeah, I might pull for her on Mercy. But, yeah, I don't know. So I think that's where we are. Yeah, that's where we are. For these, really good epics. So Geomancer, and Deacon. And then Allure's only okay these days. Gom is pretty decent, and Maneater is better. Something like that, I'd say. I think Geomancer and Deacon are the big draws. If you don't have those champions, they're extremely good, obviously. So that's a pretty big win if you're going for this. If you're going for the points for the Titan event, and you don't happen to have these epics, that's great. You've got a decent chance to actually get them. Allure is all right. She's pretty niche, right? Fire Knight normal, and like Dark Fae, you know, I don't know. She's okay, but not too special these days. Like I just don't think that it just made everything like resist her meter decrease, so she's not that important anymore. I don't know. She's okay. You build a copy of her, but you wouldn't be too pushed. And even if you didn't build her, you'd probably be fine. Gom and Maneater. Yeah, Maneater is still phenomenal. I'm actually going to put him just a tiny bit behind. No, I'll put him a decent chunk behind, but he's still really good. He does open up unkillable clan boss, demon lord stuff. And he's also really good for Ice Golem. I run him in my Ice Golem team. He's very, very good for Ice Golem hard. And lets you do a speed team with just crazy damage because you're just unkillable and block debuffs against the boss. Lovely. You can live through and just blow him up like Marius and something else. And then Gom is, I think, very solid. And Skinwalker it's a bit lacking in support. So, yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts on that. Yeah, for me, I don't know. For me personally, I probably would slap in Edward just to potentially skip a guaranteed event for him. I'm thinking about what would I actually do if I'm doing this tomorrow. I think I probably will pull some shards. I think I will probably slap Edward in, just try get him. But yeah, Osgron would be equally good, and I probably won't pull Void Shards, especially with a potential for guaranteed for like the partner for the fusion. I don't know about that. Let me know on the other video. But I kind of want to save Void Shards, but I'd obviously be going for Shuzan here without question. So yeah, that's where we're at. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think about all of it. It's been a spicy. I'm in a spicy mood today. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.